Hi, I'm Brian Berg with BB Direct. Today we're talking about Generation X marketing. Now this particular generation is smaller in terms of age range than any other generation, but they outspend all of them. This is a really important one not to ignore, so let's get into it. Today's focus is on Generation X. This is part 4 in a 5-part series on generation marketing. And when we think about generational marketing, we're assuming that just simply based on the age of an individual, we can make some fairly accurate predictions about how they consume media, how they view branding, and so forth. And while it's a little generalized to make these assumptions, if you have a population within an area and you divide it into generations, you can place some specific assumptions on each of those generations and then version your message to best resonate with that particular generation. So let's talk about Generation X. First of all, 65 to 1980. It's only about a 15-year spread. In 2019, we're looking at age 39, 40 up to about 54. This particular range is small, but you can even divide it into two and assume that the younger of that spread range is going to be similar to a Generation Y, the millennial, and the older ones are going to have some attributes and some behavioral characteristics of the baby boomers. There is a difference within this age generation, and it's important to point out, if you have the ability to separate this generation into two, you can play on some of these attributes and have better response with your target marketing. I like to focus on family, financial responsibility, and the self-reliance of this particular generation. They are, if they have children, they are in that family mode. They've been spending on family for quite a long time. They have a lot of spending and wealth power, and they are typically peaking their income capabilities. They've probably reached the top of their profession, and they're looking at the reality of mortality. They're already starting to get glimpses of potentially needing to save for retirement if they haven't already done so, and realizing that they are going to get older faster. So family is important to them because they've created so many memories by now. The financial responsibility, because they've experienced the recession in the U.S. economy, and they experienced it firsthand. They didn't just watch their parents' wealth and income go up and down, but they've themselves experienced this kind of dynamic economic change. They are self-reliant. They're an individual that has been able to adapt to most of the technology today, and so they do have a good information coming in from a variety of different mediums. The U.S. Labor Department says that they outspend all other generations. Well, it's because of the age range, and typically because they're reaching that age where they want to enjoy life, maybe do some traveling if they have money to do so. They're putting their children into college if they can afford it. They're saddled with most of the debt, more debt than other generations by far. And so they're at this age where they're spending a lot of money serving that debt and also entertaining and taking care of their family. And they're also realizing that they need to figure out how to downsize and categorize their spending habits. So for this particular life stage here, I would say highest income earners, top of their profession, raising a family, looking at retirement, have more debt. It's a unique characteristic of the Generation X. Marketing to this particular one, you can use online for sure because they are on the web. They are looking at a lot of videos. But traditional is also very important. Direct mail, newspaper, traditional TV, as opposed to just streaming on YouTube. Email is also very relevant to this individual group. I want to emphasize on the video too. They consume quite a bit of video on YouTube and traditional TV. Facebook is by far their social media of choice. So advertising on Facebook, blending that with your direct mail, with your other target marketing, if available, is very important. My personal recommendation is to place the first experience with your products and services and your company and your brand to be the best that it can possibly be. Absolutely, you want to develop the relationship with them out of the gate. You want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure they have a positive experience with it. Social engagement, they are reading reviews. That does play into a host of benefits, not only for this generation, but for younger generations as well. So any kind of social engagement you can to capture the name, to capture the comment, to respond to that comment favorably, and to take care of those people. Social interaction with these people are just as important as the millennials. Video, mobile, direct mail, absolutely, I would say have video content if you can on the web, post it on YouTube, put it on your website, make sure that your website is optimized for the cell phone, for the mobile phone, and they're still responding to direct mail. Direct mail is a powerful medium for this generation and the baby boomers, and I want to emphasize that a tangible piece of mail in their hands is going to be very, very valuable in conjunction with some of the other mediums that are available. Focus on security. This is the security of their own debt and their own income and their asset wealth protection. Again, they're looking at their family, they're looking at life insurance, they're looking at a lot of different security type traditional values that some generations might not yet be so keen to. Family is important because they've spent so much time already with their family. It's become such an important part of their children, have become such an important part of their life, and they've created memories that you just can't simply dismiss. And then causal too. They certainly care about the environment. They care about the people next door and people across the world. So highlighting what's important to you and your brand is important also to them.